Alright guys, so I got another video for you guys today. I'm going to be vlogging all day for Monday Night Raw because that's where we're headed right now, to Monday Night Raw. We've been talking wrestling. It's non-stop, so I figured we'd go ahead and record some stuff. What were we talking about for your top 5 WrestleMania matches?
Top 5 WrestleMania.
You said, what was your top 5? You said?
Shawn, Undertaker from WrestleMania 25. Undertaker, Triple H, WrestleMania 28 in Miami, which I went to. It was awesome. The Iron Man match in 96 between Shawn and Bret.
WrestleMania 12, right?
12.
TLC.
The TLC. And the only one that I feel like is kind of controversial is the main event.
Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns match.
The main event between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, where Seth Rollins cashed in because of the moment.
They did have a good match though.
The match was fine, but
they had a good match.
The fact that he came out and cashed in during the main event of WrestleMania was pretty cool, and that was after he took one of the coolest RKOs ever earlier in the night.
Oh yeah, that RKO from Randy Orton.
From the curb stomp into the RKO.
I heard about that. Well, my 5 was, I had Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, 25, Taker, Triple H, 28, Michaels, and Kurt Angle, 21. You said you didn't like that match, though. I can't believe that.
I have to rewatch it.
You didn't like that match?
I like both of them a lot. I talked to you earlier, and they're both in my top 10 ever.
But did you watch?
But I'll have to watch it again.
Did you watch the pay-per-view live? Because I watched it live. Like,
I'm sure I did watch it live.
I have the DVD too.
I've watched it.
That's my favorite WrestleMania.
I'll watch it again.
That's my favorite WrestleMania, 21. I don't know if you knew that.
Goes to Hollywood.
Yeah, that's my favorite WrestleMania.
That was good. It was a good one.
I think the best is 17. Probably the best WrestleMania of the day.
I like 21. I like 25. 25 when Jericho fought the Legends.
You like that WrestleMania?
And Triple H threw his sledgehammer through the glass.
So we were talking about the top 10, right?
Yeah.
Triple H. You said that he wouldn't be in your top 10, right?
He would not. But I don't blame people for having him in their top 10. And I think he's close.
But do you think, because your top 10 was?
I had Austin, Rock, Cena, Hogan, Savage, Angle, Michaels, Bret Hart, Taker, and who did I leave out?
I don't remember. That's 9. Did you say?
It wasn't Triple H.
Yeah, it wasn't Triple H. You said Bret Hart, right?
Yeah.
Macho Man. You said Macho Man. Taker, Shawn. Austin, Rock.
Macho, Hogan. Did I say Flair?
Oh, that's
Flair's my other
Flair.
top 10.
Okay.
So Triple H, he's great.
Okay, but why would he not be in your? Why would he not make your top 10 though? For what reason?
I think just because of the 10 guys I have in front of him.
Do you think they're better?
I mean, I think you can debate a couple of them. I think that there are the people that are up there, like Rock, Austin, Hogan, Cena.
You said Cena could be greatest of all time.
Could be.
That's an argument that people will not like. But
I don't like him the best of all time, right. But I think there's an argument with how long he's been on top and got reactions one way or another. He's stayed relevant
long enough,
longer than.
There was a time where people didn't want CM Punk though. Where CM Punk could have been, maybe could have been the guy. 2011 was a big year.
I liked CM Punk better than Cena, but it just didn't end up working out with everything he had.
Okay, so Triple H wouldn't be in your top 10. Look at that son.
I think I went with Savage just because of how.
Okay, compared to the two, I would say Savage is better at promos. Definitely better on promos. You think he's better in the ring?
Yeah, I think early Savage, everybody goes crazy about the Savage Steamboat at WrestleMania. He had good matches. He had pretty consistently good matches, I think, all the way up through WCW with Paige and.
But I think for me, the thing about Triple H though,
Savage was just like, he was on cartoons. He was,
he
was snapping to a Slim Jim guy and stuff. He was just, but he could do it in the ring. His gear, his promos, just everything that surrounded him, I think, maybe. I mean, obviously, Triple H has been more successful with titles and, stuff like that.
My thing. The reign of they call it the reign of terror, right? From like 03 to 05 when he was the world champion for like on and off, right?
Yeah, I did not care for him then.
Yeah, when he was in Evolution and everything.
Yeah, I liked Evolution, but I was on the bandwagon with the people who thought he might be holding down. I was a huge Jericho fan. He almost made my top 10 also. I think he's getting better as he gets older.
So okay, let's talk about that period of time then, because you were older than I was then. You were in high school, right?
Yeah, I was like graduating high school around those years.
What about the reign of terror, right?
Mm-hmm.
Holding guys like Kane, Rob Van Dam, Chris Jericho, Booker T.
Yeah.
But then you got to look. He puts 3 years in a row at WrestleMania. Chris Benoit, Batista, and John Cena all over at WrestleMania, all in the same year in the main event of WrestleMania. So, is it really the reign of terror, or is it just booking, or you think he did certain people he didn't want to put over?
I don't know, because I don't know how much of the decisions.
In your opinion, though, just from your opinion, like just your thought process.
In my opinion, the company didn't think that those 4 guys in particular, Kane, Booker T, Jericho, and RVD. I think the company kind of felt like they weren't necessarily top guys at the time for him to drop it to, because he dropped it right to Goldberg for a bit, and then got it back.
Well, let's see, when he won the belt, he dropped it to Shawn. When Shawn came back, got it back, and then he didn't. I think he held it until he dropped it to Goldberg, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. I'm not mistaken, but I know he dropped it to Goldberg, dropped it to Randy Orton. No, Randy Benoit.
Yeah.
He got it back from Randy, dropped it to Batista. Last time he had it when he was Batista.
Well, I think it gets too overblown, because I was a huge fan of all those guys, and I was younger, and I think, no, the guys he held down.
Okay.
I wanted all of those guys to have titles, to take the title from him, but you've got Evolution. You guys are like the biggest heel stable in a while.
It's like another 4 Horsemen, though.
Yeah, you cheat and keep your title, and finally when someone takes it, then
you get it back.
Yeah, you get it back, and it makes them look like an even bigger hero. So I think it was more or less that those guys would get a shot at it and not be able to get it done because interference and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know backstage if he had problems with those guys and tried to hold them down. I don't know. Like you said, he has done a lot of losing on the main stage. He's put a lot of people over.
But here's my.
I don't know if his attitude has changed from then, if he was really trying to hold on to power and thought those guys were a threat. I don't know, but I mean, Champion RVD, we had it for a while. It wasn't that great.
We were talking about, okay, so he has the attitude backstage. People said he's holding people down backstage.
Yeah.
Do you think he got some of that stuff from riding with Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, and Kevin Nash when they were doing that stuff back in the 90s?
I'm sure he did. I'm sure they taught him that you have to take care of yourself and
be selfish.
And be selfish. I think most superstars admit that they're a little selfish, and you've heard some of them say that on documentaries and stuff. But I don't know. I think people complain too much about it. I think it was a heel stable that cheated, and that was the basis behind it more than holding somebody down.
It's loud, ain't it?
Yeah, you gotta have somebody that's worthy to take it, and a lot of the guys at that point were pretty much just mid-card guys. I mean, all those guys held tag team titles around that time.
Okay, here's my thing about Triple H. He's in my top 10. I tell you, he's in my top 10. I think he is top 10. But I think people criticize him and hold him down because of who he's married to. And I don't think that's fair to him or his legacy. He's done a lot of. Has he done bad shit for wrestling? Of course he has. But you can say that for Hulk Hogan. You can say that for John Cena, Shawn Michaels. You can say that for a lot of guys who are at the top.
Yes.
He never needed to be the face of the company. Even if he was the face of the company, people would have shitted all over it because of who he's married to. I think he's great in the ring. His microphones, he has great promos, but there's some promos where he's very slow and everything. But I think he's a legit superstar. I think he's great all around. I think he's a top star, and I think he's one of the top great superstars of all time.
He might be number 11.
My 10 would be, no particular order, Ric Flair, John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Andre the Giant, Chris Jericho, and Triple H. That's my top 10 right there for different reasons. But I think a lot of people try to hold Triple H down just because he was married to. I don't think it's fair to him. There are a lot of wrestlers in wrestling who've done a lot of bad things in wrestling, but never gonna get criticized. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like Triple H is like the LeBron James of wrestling. Like, no matter how great LeBron James is, LeBron James can have a great game, and people will find something to hold him. People will find something to shit on him or something to hold him down for that. You know what I mean? Same with Triple H. I think Triple H, no matter all the great stuff he does for NXT or his success in wrestling, whatever, people will always find loops and some type of barriers to hold him back, to hold him down from being one of the greats, if you ask me.
Don't you feel like that's kind of like NXT's helped that though?
Definitely.
I think that one period of
it helps me though that when Vince passes away, the company is going to be in good hands with Triple H and Stephanie.
I agree. I think that one period where all those rumors, whether they're true or not, we don't know, of him holding down that handful of guys really hurt him. And, you know, we don't know if it happened or not, if it was his call, if he had anything to do with it, if it was all Vince and the writers, or I don't know. I mean, they all, we can say though, they all ended up okay.
Yeah, they're all Hall of Famers.
They're all.
Booker T, Hall of Fame, two-time Hall of Fame. Rob Van Dam would be in Hall of Fame. Jericho being Hall of Fame, and so who was the other guy we talked about? Kane would be in Hall of Fame too.
To be fair, there was some bad writing around that time too with Katie Vick and Kane.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And Jericho, I've always liked Jericho, but he wasn't.
They should have kept him on SmackDown.
He didn't hit his stride even yet. Like, he was kind of a
Suit Jericho's one.
Yeah, Suit Jericho a few years later was several years later.
They should have kept him on SmackDown when they got Eddie Guerrero, Benoit, Edge, Mysterio, Cena, Lesnar, Taker. They should have kept him on SmackDown when they had all those guys. But they moved him to Raw. But I don't know. I just think it's not fair. This is my opinion. Everybody's gonna have their own personal opinions and perspectives about Triple H and everything. But I personally think he's top 10. This is me. I think a lot of people try to hold him back. Grudges because of that reasons, and I don't think it's fair to him or his legacy. Like I said, Shawn Michaels did a lot of bad shit we heard a lot of bad shit about Shawn Michaels, but Shawn Michaels is gonna be in the top 10 because of Shawn Michaels. Hulk Hogan did a lot of shit back in those days, but it's Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's got to be in the top 10. Look what he did for wrestling. The same with John Cena. We heard a lot of things about John Cena, the stuff he did with CM Punk, talking about he almost gave up on him, or buried the entire Nexus. Alex Riley destroyed Alex Riley apparently too. So I mean, but John Cena's still gonna be in the top 10 because it's John Cena.
Right.
So it's like,
I don't think that you can use that to disqualify Triple H. I think Triple H, when I was thinking of my top 10, Triple H was right there with probably Savage towards number 10 of mine, Jericho, Mick Foley.
Mick Foley's another one though, man.
Yeah,
he's close, man. I want to put Mick Foley in
I think all those guys are close. But if I have to pick one.
So who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up?
I grew up in the mid-90s.
Yeah, mid-90s. So let's see. You were a Bret Hart guy, right?
Bret Hart guy. Bret Hart. I did like Shawn Michaels also. I liked...
But Bret or Shawn? Which one?
Bret. Back then, Bret. Staying on WCW. It was when he was getting ready to go into the Crow and the Rafters.
Do you think Goldberg was the generic Stone Cold Steve Austin in WCW?
No, I didn't. I think that I felt like he was their answer to Stone Cold, but not a generic Stone Cold. I felt like he was his own character. I didn't feel like they were trying to copy or anything, but there were a lot of similarities, but there were a lot of differences.
Bald head, goatee,
black trunks.
Black trunks.
Yeah, but Stone Cold did a lot of talking. A lot of trash talking. Goldberg didn't do a whole lot of trash talking.
Goldberg can't wrestle like that either. I like Stone Cold. Stone Cold can wrestle.
They just kind of built him up as a monster that, they never built Stone Cold up as a monster. They did with Goldberg. So I thought it was just, they have this monster, draw with Stone Cold. We need our own.
So superstars today that are right now, who do you think have potential or should be some of the next future stars that you would like to see?
I am a big fan of... Sorry, I'm driving.
You're fine.
I'm a big fan of Aleister Black. I think that if... And it's all with if they do it right, because a lot of times they don't do it right.
Right.
Like everybody knows. I think Aleister Black could be great. I think...
Well, so far, he hasn't been on TV since he's been on SmackDown. So.
I think Andrade could be the next... I think he could be what they wanted Alberto Del Rio to be. Like the next big...
Mexican luchador.
Yeah, the next big Hispanic star.
He can't speak English.
And you gotta have somebody with him.
Selena Vega.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of different guys. I think that Ricochet could be the next great high flyer. Obviously,
who's somebody that you like? You look at and say this guy has to be. To me, it's Velveteen Dream.
Velveteen Dream is
that's the guy.
Fantastic.
Superstar
with charisma and all that kind of stuff. I fear that they're going to mess him up when they bring him to the main roster, because Vince doesn't have a very good track record lately of working with people who have a very unique ability and charisma and personality like the Dream does. I mean, Dream is very good. I think
I think he's the best in NXT. Me personally, some people will say Johnny Gargano, but I think he's better.
I like Johnny Gargano. I think Tommaso Ciampa. Great. If the injury, didn't slow him down, I'm interested to see how he bounces back from that if he's able to. I think Matt Riddle.
You like Riddle?
Is another really talented guy that's unique in a lot of ways.
What about Pete Dunne?
Pete Dunne
Walter?
Pete Dunne Walter match was amazing. I like Pete Dunne.
What do you think about Undisputed Era? What do you think about them? Do you think they'll keep them together, or do you think they'll be something that'll just be falling apart?
They should keep them together, but they'll probably split them up immediately when they get brought up, because that's what happens. But Adam Cole is another one. I mean, you got the guys that it's hard to miss down there. How talented they are.
He's got Kushida.
Kushida, I haven't seen a ton of his stuff. But I mean, all those guys that were in that halftime heat at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, great match.
All 6 of those guys, you figure are going to be really good if they don't screw it up. If they don't screw it up, or if Vince doesn't screw it up somehow.
We were talking about this when we were eating in the restaurant. You said biggest superstar to fail, or something like. What would you say the biggest superstar that they missed out on?
Yeah, like
I'm not gonna count CM Punk, because CM Punk was a star. We
were talking about either their fault or the company's fault. For some reason, they could have been huge or a lot bigger than they were, and they never did. I
would definitely say Barrett.
I think Barrett could have been a lot. I think Carlito could have gone farther.
Really, Carlito? But what about Chris Masters? Forget about him.
I don't know. He's kind of. I'm sure he could have, but.
You don't think he had potential?
I don't know if he had enough personality and skill in the ring, other than just the physique and the power and stuff like that. I think
Sasha Banks could be one. She could maybe be one, possibly be one.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot.
There's another one you said that I liked. You said Alex Riley.
Yes.
You think Alex Riley had a superstar or superstar?
I think he had
the superstar.
I think they went the right way. I think even if you just listen back to the entrance music he had, and they built him up with the Miz being a heel and him kind of doing stuff for the Miz, and then he, finally fought back. If you go back, what was it I was watching the other night? The Capital Punishment.
You were watching that?
Yes.
Why?
I was bored.
Terrible pay-per-view to watch.
It was not. It was all right.
You say you've been watching a lot of CM Punk 2011 stuff, though.
Yeah. When my kids go to bed and my wife goes to bed.
That's what you
I really have nothing else to do, and so I watch old pay-per-views.
Do you honestly think... Okay, let's go back to that time. 2011, because you remember the promos he was cutting with John Cena and Triple H and all that stuff. Me growing up, I was a John Cena fan growing up, right? My favorite wrestler of all time. Never understood why people hated John Cena. I didn't get it. I never understood why people hate Cena. He was the good guy. We were talking about this earlier. John Cena and Hulk Hogan are the same exact baby faces. If you put John Cena back in the 80s era, he would have got the same reaction as Hogan, if you ask me. Hogan got the same reaction now. Just two different eras, two different fan bases, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it was on the other side of people accepting Stone Cold abusing his boss and women and stuff, and being
entertaining.
Entertaining.
I mean, Hulk Hogan and John Cena. Yeah. Hulk Hogan, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. John Cena, hustle, loyalty, respect. Never give up.
Yeah, it's the same thing. If it was in the 80s, he would be cheered, not a boo in the building.
Ultimate babyface, but I never understood why people hated John Cena until he started feuding CM Punk. And CM Punk started cutting those promos.
They finally had somebody that could put words
in the people's brains.
And, yeah, like, we don't like Cena, but Punk could actually tell you why you didn't like Cena. Because he could speak well enough.
For the first time in my whole life, Money in the Bank 2011, I rooted for CM Punk. I rooted against John Cena for the first time ever in my life because I wanted CM Punk to win because of what he was saying and making true. Still love John Cena, but I was like, man, I like this guy. Is like, and I always like CM Punk. I like CM Punk when he was doing the ECW stuff. Mm-hmm. When he was like, I'm straight edge.
Straight Edge Society was very good.
I always like CM Punk. Do you think he could have been the face for them, of the company, then, like 2011, from 2011 to 2000?
For sure. I think that I don't like conspiracy theories, but I think there was, and they've all said that he was a weird dude and didn't communicate well and stuff. I think that they kind of ended up not liking him, not wanting him to be the face of the company for some reason.
You think it's because of the way he looks, or tattoos?
Maybe, and that's more.
Because they just didn't want to put him above Cena?
I don't know, but Triple H, goes and gets a lot of guys now that have a lot of tattoos.
This is the one bad thing about Triple H. I mean, I don't think Triple H and Punk like each other, personally. I think they have some type of...
Triple H and Punk?
Yeah, I think they have some type of...
egos.
Yeah, I think it's some type of... I think Triple H felt... I did watch the promo the other day where Triple H, they were talking about going back and forth. I think in Triple H's eyes, CM Punk's had a lot of opportunities. Mm-hmm. And CM Punk feels like he hasn't maybe gotten Maybe he's gotten opportunities, but they're not the ones that he should be getting, or maybe he deserves better than what he was getting.
I don't think if we were in the room together that CM Punk and I would be friends. But I do think that as a performer at that time, I think that he kind of got the raw end of some stuff. I think, if you look back at what they were having him do a lot of the time, he had big feuds, but in between those big feuds were kind of things that you didn't...
When he was the WWE champion for 134 days,
yeah.
How many times was he in the main event pay-per-view?
Not much.
I mean, it was Cena. They had Cena and John Laurinaitis main event pay-per-view. Cena, Rock.
It's
Triple
like
H,
clearly he was a huge star, and he made himself kind of into a huge star. And I don't know that they liked it for one reason or another, and they just didn't feature. I mean, if Cena had gotten that hot with the crowd and stuff, he would have been everywhere.
Yeah.
24/7, and he would have deserved it because he's Cena and he works hard for it and everything. But I don't know if they weren't ready to do it. They don't like him. He seems like sometimes he can be a pretty unlikable guy, but he was gold for a while there, and he still just wasn't getting... he wasn't the main event of a lot of pay-per-views, even the smaller ones.
Do you think the second year they had Rock and Cena, you think he should have been in that match, triple threat? You think he should have been the main event of WrestleMania that year?
Yes.
When he fought Taker, and then, he dropped it to The Rock at the Royal Rumble, and then they fought Taker that year. You think he should have been the main event?
Yes.
Those three? I do too.
Yeah, the Taker thing was just kind of...
Could have Taker fight somebody else?
Yeah. I get...
Could have Taker and Jericho that year or something.
The Rock Cena in Miami, I get. And they were going to...
But they wanted Cena to win, you know what I mean? They wanted him to beat Rock.
I think that they had their, like I was saying, I think they had their plans, and even though Punk did as amazing as he did with his promos and his wrestling and just everything in general, they had other ideas that they had to get in, which was...
He wasn't in the plans.
No matter what else goes on, Cena's going to lose to Rock one year, Rock's going to lose to Cena one year. And they didn't want anything to get in the way of that. And then you add in the fact, from what we've heard from tons of people and stuff, that Punk kind of had a personality and attitude that wasn't great. Then I think that it made them not really consider adding him into those things.
I mean, you did hear about at one point where they said that Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Triple H, and John Cena all said that they didn't see anything in CM Punk. I mean, that's 4 of your top guys in the fucking business right there. So I mean, it's like Triple H said he was like a Waffle House fry or something like that. And John Cena, when he won the ECW championship in Cincinnati, they said that Cena said he came up to him, said he almost gave up hope on him, congratulations, some shit like that. So it's like,
I don't know. I think
Punk definitely holds grudges.
Yeah.
And I think there's just grudges. There's shit that he doesn't let go. I think he remembers shit that he doesn't. When he became a bigger star, he just didn't let that shit go.
I think. Yeah, I think things have changed when you're looking back even into the mid 2000s, 2005, 6, 7, all those type of years. You don't see. I mean, even more recently than that, you don't see guys that look like Punk in the main event for a really long time, and now we're able to see, especially in NXT and in WWE now, we're seeing more guys who have tattoos all up and down their arms and who are smaller, who don't have the physique like Batista or Randy Orton getting chances. Physique, yeah.
Big physique.
But now those guys, like Aleister Black,
tattoos.
He's awesome, but now that he's up in the main roster, what are they going to do with him?
Yeah, Ruby Riott.
Vince doesn't have a good track record of using those guys very well.
So what about
because Aleister Black looks at least as much like a Waffle House cook as CM Punk. He's got some greasy hair. He's got tattoos. He doesn't have he's not super muscular, but it doesn't matter to a lot of us, but to Vince it seems like it does.
I think it's with CM Punk, it's the Macho Man, Randy Savage, Bret Hart effect. Macho Man thought he was better than Hogan, but obviously they're not putting him over Hogan. Bret Hart was the star at one point, but then they wanted Shawn Michaels, and they went with Shawn Michaels. The only person that never happened to was Stone Cold. I think they wanted The Rock, but Stone Cold just became so he became so popular.
And so that's what happened. What happened with those guys is that Macho Man turned heel on Hogan, and Bret Hart turned heel after he fought Shawn Michaels, and so CM Punk turned heel on John Cena and did a great job as a heel too. And then, people just wanted to cheer him.
Do you think
people liked him more than they liked Cena at the time? Do you think they would have cheered him
over Daniel Bryan when Daniel Bryan got hot at that time? Or you think?
Yeah, I think
Daniel Bryan was hot though.
I mean, but the problem is the thing is, why can't you? Okay, so Macho Man turned heel to feud with Hogan.
Right.
Because
Mega Powers.
Right. Bret Hart turned heel to feud with Shawn Michaels because Shawn Michaels was ahead of him. So Punk turns heel to feud with face Cena. The answer, I think, should have been to keep Punk heel and move Cena down like they have more recently, to do other things down lower in the card and have face underdog Daniel Bryan go up against heel Punk.
Kind of like I did this year with the Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, but I think the best option there wouldn't have been to have face Punk and face Bryan. I think it would have been to keep heel Punk.
I don't know. Face versus face, it could have been cool because they could have been torn. It's kind of like Rock Hogan.
Yeah, I think people might have cheered Daniel Bryan over Punk
at that time.
Just because their characters were so good that.
Let's go back.
But Cena was in the way, kind of.
Let's go back. Well, back then, this was 2014, and Cena was kind of coming out of the main event picture right there. So, I mean, Punk was still getting great, and Daniel Bryan was getting crazy reactions. We already know that year at WrestleMania, CM Punk was supposed to fight Triple H.
Yes.
That's what they wanted, and the main event was going to be Batista and Randy Orton. Jesus.
Garbage.
That's
a bad main event in 2014.
Daniel Bryan's supposed to fight Sheamus.
Bad
WrestleMania
match at WrestleMania.
You could have had...
They fought for 18 seconds at the one I went to, and I was disappointed because I thought that could be a very good match.
That was 28, right?
Yeah, that was in 2012, so they wanted to do that match again in 2014.
They ruined it. They ruined it the first time. So you could have had Punk and Bryan in the main event, right? Still could have had Cena versus Wyatt. And then you could have had Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton all fight each other. You could have had the Evolution triple threat right there, which would have been believable, makes sense. All these guys have history together.
And you could have
who's the true top guy in that group?
And you could have had Taker not lose.
That still bother you?
Yeah, it still bothers me. I can't watch that pay-per-view.
Because of that?
Yeah. And I don't have a problem with Brock Lesnar.
You don't think he should have ever lost?
Not to somebody. Brock Lesnar had been a champion. You don't need to lose to him. I thought that if you were going to have him lose, it should have been somebody who could have got a huge bump from it. And Lesnar got a bump, but it's one that he didn't need, and then it ended up with him.
But is Lesnar not believable enough? Because he is.
He's very believable. But
who would you? Okay, if you had to pick somebody in the streak, who would it have been? Of all the people he had faced, who would it have been? Of all the guys he's faced at WrestleMania, who would you have had him in the streak to?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody specifically, but it wouldn't have been an established guy. It wouldn't have been Orton or Cena or Lesnar or Batista or any of those guys.
About Shawn Michaels or Triple H?
I don't know. I mean, if you wait and then you had a guy like Bray Wyatt, I think it could have done crazy good things for Bray Wyatt's career.
What about Roman Reigns, though?
I wouldn't even cared if it was Roman Reigns. I like Roman Reigns.
God, we watched that match at your house, too.
Yeah, it was... Taker was struggling. I wouldn't even care if it was Roman Reigns, because he's still young enough that it's like, man, he beat The Undertaker. He's the only one to beat him at WrestleMania. But I just didn't think... I was...
So what was your reaction when you watched that pay-per-view live on the network?
Yeah, it sucked all the air out of the room.
So what did you think?
Like that guy that's just sitting there like... that they show on the stuff all the time.
Did you think that... Okay, going into that match, were you like, I don't know what's going to happen? You're like, there's no way Taker's losing. I mean...
I still thought there's no way Taker's losing.
You didn't even think a little hope like, God, Brock
yeah, I thought, why would they do that? But they might, but they shouldn't. And I just assumed, like, I didn't think about it and thought, he'll probably win. Taker will probably just keep it. But then it didn't, and I would like to know what it was like to be in that arena, because...
Backstage? I wouldn't even be backstage like
You were there at my house, right? For that one?
No,
you weren't there for that one?
No, the first one I came over was 32.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. If I was watching it alone, probably.
I mean, the only thing that saved that WrestleMania...
I didn't know what to say.
The only thing that saved that WrestleMania was Daniel Bryan winning the championship at the end of the night, which people loved. It was heroic.
It was good.
But I mean...
But when you... Like, me personally, maybe it's because I'm older and grew up with Taker, after it was over, my thought wasn't, Daniel Bryan overcame and won. It was, they had Taker lose.
Still?
Yeah, it was. It was weird.
Did you think he was done? Like, he's never wrestling?
Well, he didn't look right either, and you saw that he collapsed backstage and that he was concussed or whatever. I mean, he didn't look right the whole time. He kind of looked like he was out of it. And I didn't like the mohawk thing either, really. He just kind of looked like an old man still trying to fight.
Needs hair. He needs hair.
Which isn't that big of a thing, but it just, all of it together made it, I can't watch it, because I didn't like that he lost. Not that he lost, but how he lost, who he lost to, the match in general.
So do you think, personally, if you had to pick one match for Taker to... If anything, I think he should have retired in that Hell in a Cell match with Triple H.
Yeah,
that was his last... The match with CM Punk was good. But that was his last classic
He hasn't done anything that needed to be done since that Triple H match in the cell with Shawn Michaels. And they had the send-off on the ramp, and they were actually embracing each other friendly, like, hey, this is it, we're done.
Right.
And that's how they build it, as, hey, we're done, kind of end of an era.
End of an era.
And it just seems like that was perfect, and then all of a sudden Vince or whoever was like, actually, we're going to do this now, and kind of just changed plans at last minute, which it seems like they do a lot.
I don't know when he's going to retire. He's going to the Saudi Arabia show they got coming up.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. As long as money's involved, they're going to keep... I mean, what was it? I saw that Taker and Goldberg and Lesnar, all going to Saudi Arabia. And it's... I mean, if I was them, I would take the money also and wrestle for 5 minutes and
be done.
Try not to do anything wrong in Saudi Arabia, so they don't keep you and put you in prison, cut your head off.
Yeah.
But like Mick Foley just said the other day,
you believe
if they gave him enough money, he'd go over there and do the Hell in a Cell match again.
Nobody wants to see that.
No. But if they came to him and said, we'll give you $5 million if you go do this.
Mick Foley though can't even do it.
He looks terrible, though.
You remember the Raw we went to when he was general manager and he couldn't even walk?
Yeah,
down
but
the
he's
stage?
got that fixed by now, I think.
He has the hip replacement, but still, though, look at all the shit he's been through in his career. Getting thrown off the cell, thrown down the cell.
He's one of my favorites. He's cool.
All the barbed wire matches, all the crazy bumps on the concrete, all the missing teeth. And
his hardcore, his Cactus Jack persona is what made me almost put him in my top 10.
I like the Mankind character. That's my favorite.
I like the Mankind character too. I did not like Dude Love. Was not good.
You like Dude Love?
No,
See,
really.
I would say I would rank him from Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love. That's
Cactus Jack is
I think
old Cactus Jack before he became Mankind, like Deathmatch Cactus Jack. That's what shortened his career, though. That was what made him a superstar, and then getting thrown off of cages.
Yeah, but still, Taker can barely even do anything. It isn't now. I guarantee Mick Foley can do anything.
They need to stop, and they need to try to create new people who can go into the next multiple years, doing things so that those old guys who already have a reputation don't have to anymore. Because it's bad when they come back. I don't care. I mean, you put them out there, but Undertaker shouldn't be in a marquee match at WrestleMania.
Anymore.
Like he should come out.
He wasn't on WrestleMania this year.
He should come out and choke slam Elias during a performance and let his music hit and give everybody the idea that he's there. But he shouldn't be in matches anymore.
What about Cena?
Cena can still go, I think. I wouldn't put him in the title matches and stuff, but you could have him. You can have him in special matches at WrestleMania and stuff like that. But
Lesnar,
he can obviously still go. But
Goldberg.
They did. I think they did that with him, and it was pretty good for an older guy. But I wouldn't want him to do it again. Lesnar, everybody's just tired of him because his matches now are just suplexes and F5s.
And because he keeps holding the titles hostage.
Yeah, but I mean, if they...
My thing with Lesnar, though, people don't understand about this Lesnar thing. Is he a big wrestling fan? No. Does he care for the business like other people would? No. Obviously, he has love for wrestling. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it. Money is his main priority and everything, but he'll do whatever you want, ask him to do. If you want him to be the champion, okay, I'll be the champion. If you don't,
he sells well.
Whatever, yeah. Brock Lesnar is a very smart businessman when it comes to wrestling. He has a great mind for business and wrestling. He knows what he wants, and he gets what he wants. Can't be mad at that. You think I'm not gonna turn down a deal to work 4 or 5 days a year and get paid?
Oh no, you'd be stupid. I have no problem with Lesnar, other than just why keep the title on him? Let him come in and beat up one of your top guys. It just
like how when he first came back from 2012 to 2016.
A top guy that's not the champion at the time. Like, have him destroy Reigns for a couple months while Reigns isn't the champion, or Strowman while Strowman's not the champion.
But you see, those are feud that they already tried and they messed.
Now it's already been done and it's whatever. It's time for it. Now I think it's time for him just to go away for a while. But
They said he wants to retire next year.
I don't blame him at all for taking money in wrestling matches. I mean, if somebody wanted me to do that, I would do it. Nobody wants me to do that. But I would do it.
I mean, what about if he retires? Who retires him? It has to be somebody big. Is it going to be like Angle when they made him fight Baron Corbin?
I don't know.
I would say John Cena. History there, and
I would say you have history with Cena. You have history with Rock.
That's if Rock's always
busy,
though.
And you've got history with Reigns.
Yeah. What about McIntyre?
Yeah, if you keep building him up and you want it to really matter who beats him, it just depends on what they want. No, I wouldn't let Triple H do it. I wouldn't want him to do it because it doesn't do anything for anyone. Triple H wins. We already know he's good. We already know he's a Hall of Famer.
I mean, so is Rock.
I mean, that's in that regard. Maybe somebody like McIntyre would be the right call if you build it up right.
Reigns, I guess Reigns.
Reigns, just because they've fought each other so much.
You think Rock comes back and wrestles again?
Yes.
How many times? Just once?
Once.
Who's he face though? If he has one come last match.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I was going to say Roman Reigns would be the only choice. If he's going to have one last match, it would be against Roman Reigns.
Or
maybe Triple H.
They could always do a Triple H one, or they could do a Cena one, third.
Or Lesnar.
Or Lesnar.
That's the one I always want to see, though, man. Him and Lesnar again. I want to see that so bad.
Well, that's why I thought Rock at the beginning was Rock lost to kind of start Lesnar on his journey.
Plus, Rock never beat Lesnar either.
Yeah, so you could do that, but again, I think like with the Taker match, it would be more effective to have somebody like McIntyre, somebody like that, do it.
Do you have a problem with Baron Corbin beating Kurt Angle in his last match?
Yes, I think Kurt Angle's awesome for having that happen. I don't know how much say he had in it. Growing up, like I said, I put Angle in my top 10. Whether it was TNA or WWE, I mean, he was a freak. He could do anything, and he could be funny. He could be insane acting. He was athletic. He was tough. You know, he was really, really good. And if he didn't have his addiction and leave to TNA because they were making him go to rehab or whatever, who knows what would have gone on in WWE, but his TNA stuff was really good too, with Styles and Sting and Christian and Samoa Joe and all those guys. So he's one of my favorites of all time.
He's in my top 5 favorites.
And for him to lose to Corbin, I don't know. I mean, if it doesn't matter that much to Kurt Angle, it probably shouldn't matter that much to us.
That's exactly what I said.
But I don't think... I like Baron Corbin, too, to an extent.
I hate Baron Corbin.
Okay, he's got some things that are okay. I don't like his waiter vest, and, but he's a good heel.
Very good. He's got a lot of heat right
He's got a lot of heat. If I thought that the WWE was going to do anything with that heat, I would say I'm okay that he lost to Baron Corbin. But I can see Baron Corbin losing to almost anyone tonight because they don't seem to value him. So if you don't value him to push him as a top heel, why would you have him beat Kurt Angle? Because it's kind of the same as Taker to a smaller extent of I retired Kurt Angle, of I beat Taker at WrestleMania. I ended Kurt Angle's career at WrestleMania.
Okay, so you know how WrestleMania 22, this is just a wild story. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but do you know what the plans were for that WrestleMania were going to be? Because obviously Eddie Guerrero passed away that year before WrestleMania.
So that's 06 WrestleMania?
Yes, 22. Do you know?
I used to teach him, and we used to try to talk about this during breaks, and I struggle with 22, 23 of what years those were. Okay, so 06.
For people who are wondering who this is, he was my high school teacher in high school when I was in high school, freshman, and he was my freshman and senior year, and then we always talked about wrestling. I was always in his class. I wouldn't even eat. I would go eat lunch in his room. Like I wouldn't even eat in the cafeteria. I would go to his room and we would just sit there and talk about a bunch of shit, wrestling and everything. And we always said that we were gonna start going to WWE shows. We were going to Raw tonight, obviously. We watched WrestleMania. We watched Takeover at your house together. Mm-hmm. So, wrestling fans, we stick together.
So, it only took us 43 minutes to introduce who I actually am, other than just some random guy who drove him to Monday Night Raw.
We should do that in the beginning. Okay, so the beginning plans, from what I heard, could be wrong, could be right. I think it's right though. Do you know who Eddie Guerrero was supposed to face at WrestleMania that year?
In 06?
Yes, and it would have been, I'm telling you right now, it could have been the top.
Shawn Michaels?
Yes.
It would have been great.
That could have been top 5 greatest WrestleMania matches.
Yeah.
And then Kurt Angle was supposed to wrestle The Undertaker.
Would have been great.
Because they had that match in No Way Out.
Yeah.
The year before, that month before. That
he said was his favorite
match.
Favorite/best match he ever had.
Because they were supposed to. Do you remember? If anybody remembers this, if you don't remember, go back and watch that match. No Way Out 2006. If you remember, at the end of that match, because it was a controversial finish, he had the roll-up finish. Angle pinned him and rolled him up. If you remember, at the end of the match, he pushed Kurt Angle in the corner and said, "I got your number still." Something like that. "I got your number," something like that. That was supposed to lead into their match at WrestleMania. Because Taker still had the streak.
Yeah.
Angle had the title. Obviously, Angle would have lost. Mm-hmm. But that match would have been that. Both were still in their primes too. Oh my God! They gave Mark Henry. No disrespect to Mark Henry, but they gave him Mark Henry, and he had
Hall of Pain Mark Henry was amazing.
Hall of Pain Mark
Every other Mark Henry was nuts.
Hall of Pain Mark Henry was great, but then you had. I get why they get Rey Mysterio. It makes sense. I like Rey Mysterio. He deserved that moment because Rey Mysterio that solidified Rey Mysterio as a superstar, I believe.
Did he deserve that? This is probably for another one. Did he deserve to be champion just because? Is that why they did it? Everybody assumes that's why they did it.
Because Eddie grew up
because of Eddie and. I don't know. I don't know.
I think Rey Mysterio even said that in an interview. I think he said that before. But I mean, you gotta look at the Rey Mysterio.
Do I deserve to get a promotion at work because my friend died?
No, but do you? I mean,
Rey Mysterio is good. I like Rey Mysterio.
But you gotta look at it though. Eddie Guerrero was the champion. He deserved that moment when he beat Lesnar.
Yeah.
And No Way Out. Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero always had great matches.
Oh yeah, no, I don't deny that.
Do you think Rey Mysterio deserved to be the world champion?
At some point. Yeah.
You don't think it was that right time right there?
I don't know. It just if that's what they did was to say, hey, at WrestleMania we're going to give you this title because you were friends with Eddie and Eddie just passed away. No. But I don't really care, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean, you don't like Rey Mysterio.
I like Rey Mysterio a lot.
I
like all three of those guys that were in that match.
Orton, Angle, and Mysterio, yes. But I mean, I'd much rather have Angle and Taker and then Shawn.
Well, yeah. I'd also, we'd rather have Guerrero still alive anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Guerrero couldn't be in God rest the man's soul, but
he was awesome.
I think Eddie Guerrero's in my top 5. Who's your top 5 favorites of all time?
Favorites?
Your favorite superstars?
Favorites?
Mine.
Jericho is number 1.
He's your favorite.
He's my favorite of all time. I liked heel Christian. He's probably I'm gonna put him in my top 5.
Of all time?
Yeah, heel Christian.
You like Christian over Edge?
Yeah, I like Edge too, but I liked heel Christian.
Okay, but
Shawn Michaels.
You're just talking in general. You said heel Christian. You think Christian's better than? I'm not saying better.
I said no. You said favorite. Heel Christian, Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, Sting.
This man said Christian in his top 5.
Maybe. Maven. Yeah. Maybe CM Punk.
Mark Hendrick, maybe. Kenta Suzuki.
Sean O'Hare.
Funaki. Jimmy Wayne Gang.
He was talented.
Yeah, well, Spike
he was a cowboy.
Spike Dudley.
No, I never liked Spike Dudley. He creeped me out. No. This guy
took a beating.
Just took a beating every day. I don't know that. Who did I say for number 5?
CM Punk.
You know what? I'll take out heel Christian. I'll just make him top 10, and I'll put Angle in there because I liked Angle more than I liked Christian. Jericho's number 1 though of who I enjoyed watching the most. I still enjoy watching when he does stuff. I think he's gotten better as a character as he's gotten older.
For sure.
The wrestling,
100%.
the wrestling is still decent. It's not gone way down, but his character and his promos and stuff is.
Yeah. John Cena's number 1 on mine, obviously. Then no other order. That Undertaker, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and Cena, Guerrero, Angle, Taker. I'm gonna say Edge.
I liked Edge. He's not as good as heel Christian, but
Edge's not as good as heel Christian?
I'm just kidding. Edge was very good. I just liked heel Christian. Like
which heel Christian are we talking about?
The Peeps.
2005 Christian, 2004.
Before he left and when he went to TNA and was healing TNA.
He had that terrible theme song. Wow.
That wasn't a terrible theme song.
It was a very bad theme song. Who's your favorite themes? Let's talk about some themes real quick before we head in there. Some of your top 5 favorite themes.
I liked Punk's first theme.
You like it better than Cult of Personality?
Yeah.
Fire Burns?
Yeah. I liked Edge's was awesome.
Metalingus, yeah.
The
Rob Zombie one was good too.
Yeah. I think Batista's and Orton. I think any of them that really kind of.
Which one's better, Burning My Light or Voices?
Oh, Voices.
Thank you. Voices is way better. Voices is number 2. Voices is my second favorite theme of all time, right behind Triple H. Triple H the Game.
The Triple H ones with Motorhead were always really good.
Evolution.
Yeah. The King of Kings.
My Time was good too. I like My Time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, my show 20%. Fuck.
I like some of the old ones. Some of the old ones that you just knew like before they really started using the bands and stuff, when you just knew when the glass broke and it was stone cold, and that people would go nuts, or when If You Smell came on and you knew it was The Rock. Some of those were really good too.
NWO.
The Bret Hart guitar.
Damn.
Yeah, some of those were really good.
NWO.
NWO's was
Great.
good.
Undisputed Era. I love Undisputed Era theme too, man.
I like a lot of themes. I think that themes go a long way in helping characters do well. Like Velveteen Dreams goes really well with his character.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them, if Sami Zayn's, Shinsuke Nakamura's, especially his
First one.
the first one when he fought Sami Zayn was
Fucking fantastic.
it was phenomenal. And
AJ Styles theme was great too.
yeah, I mean, Burn It Down, all those.
Brock Lesnar got a good theme too. I always like Lesnar's theme. And you're like, damn, you're like, oh shit.
Taker.
Which one though?
Taker.
I
Both of them.
I like the You're Gonna Pay theme. You're gonna pay.
Yeah.
The Kid Rock theme was good too. And Limp Bizkit rolling. I like that one. But the original Undertaker theme, like the gong, yeah, that's just legendary.
Yeah. I mean, they're all really good.
Legendary. So, alright. Well, we've been talking wrestling for like 50 minutes. We can go all day if you want to. My phone's on 20%. And I want to
And we got to go to Raw.
I want to charge my phone before we go in there. But make sure you guys subscribe, leave your comments below, hit that like button.
Do you have a direction like people do sometimes? Like, hit the button.
I don't know how to edit that stuff in there. I need to figure that stuff out. So
Hit the button.
I want to know how to do that stuff, but I don't know how to edit all that stuff in there.
Subscribe, and hit the button.
And leave your comments in the comments. I don't know how to edit stuff in there, man. Like I'm not too good with the editing and everything. I just know how to record and do what I got to do and then upload it. So
It's more than I could do.
yep, because you're not advanced.
I'm an old teacher person.
You're only in your 30s. It's not that bad. Or
I'm not that old. I should know how to do it, actually.
pretty sad. Your kids can teach you when they get older. So
That's true.
we're gonna head to Raw. Make sure you guys tune in for my other stuff. I got some other stuff coming this week. Debates always on Saturdays. Always on Saturday. I need to get you on. I want to get you on one of my debates on Saturdays. I do them at
That's
Saturday
fine.
at 4 p.m. every Saturday.
I don't work on Saturdays, so
But it'll be.
I don't have an excuse.
It'll be to the link of the Google Hangout, so I have to send it to you.
What is that?
Basically, I send you a link on your phone.
So we just talk into it?
Yeah, it's like this, but you'll see how it is. I'll
Like
show you.
FaceTime?
Yeah, I'll show you how it is. He's obviously old. I'll show you how it is. Make sure you guys subscribe, leave comments below, and give this video a thumbs up.